Suze Orman suggests $5 million retirement fund. These people fucking disgust me. This bitch suggests a $5.10m retirement fund. Minimum. Her reasoning? To pay for medical emergencies and costly end-of-life medical care. As my mother wasted away from cancer, I was forced to watch her nest egg waste away as well. 30 years she worked to pay off her mortgage, and that house was gone as less than one. Medicare doesn't kick in until they've taken every penny you own first. I was raised by my single mother, and for her entire life she told me and my sister that our home was to be our family legacy. As much as her illness destroyed her body, the loss of everything she worked for her entire life destroyed her mind. Fuck her and fuck this country. You could be talking about my mother's death from cancer. Fought for years. Ended up basically destitute. And my brother and I both teetered on the edge of bankruptcy caring for her. Nearly a decade later, I haven't recovered financially. Fuck you, Suze Orman. So funny. Can you imagine a clerk making $30K with a $10 million retirement fund? In what planet can you save or invest your way to a multi-million-dollar retirement on mediocre wages? Getting ready to spend our retirement watching our mother-in-law, who has dementia, went through her savings for a nursing home, and who knows how long she'll linger in this state. She always said her savings would go to her grandson, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Just our rant. If we keep enough money to bury her, it'll keep us from being able to get government assistance. She wrote a book called The Courage to Be Rich. I think that says just about everything. Daily reminder that Suze Orman inherited her wealth and has never had to live off a paycheck. I ignore her and all her fake expertise completely. Fuck her and Dave Ramsey. Been grifting since I was a little kid. This is a really sick fricking country. Those that have will suck back every single penny that they can before grinding you down into the dirt. I worked in a hospital. Some patients would hear the prognosis and go home anyway. One gentleman told me that he wasn't going to beggar his family by slowly dying. They begged him to stay and get treatment. Capitalism is cruelty. Put your assets into a trust. The home owned by a trust, they can't take it. The car owned by a trust in an accident. Your fault? The trust isolates your other assets. Your retirement fund's trust. This is what the rich fucks do. It's not terrible expensive. Likely around the cost of a month's mortgage to get your house protected. They have made a clawback clause in some states. They can come after the house if it's been less than 5 years. Get on it. My parents have put all of their assets into a trust in my and my sister's names. If they get to the point that long-term medical care is required, they will be able to qualify for Medicaid without losing their house and everything else. There is a 5-year look back prior to Medicaid application. So it does require some planning. They don't have anywhere near $5 million. But what they do have, they won't lose. Fuck Suze Orman. I'll drop dead before I ever get to retire anyway. Grandmother had to gift money to my little bros just so she would have something small to try and live on when my grandfather was sick with Alzheimer's. This country is a fraud. I am really starting to understand it isn't land of the free and home of the brave. It's land of the owners and home of the serfs. This grifting deviant needs to STFU. And be thankful she isn't in prison, yet. I'm 44 and I have exactly $22.17 in my savings for retirement. Just 23 years to save up $4,999,977.83. Amongst the investment community's Suze Orman is known crap for retirement advice. Just as much as Dave Ramsey is known for bad investment advice. He does give some good advice for getting out of debt but takes it over the line of self-mortification. Look more into J.L. Collins, Dr. T. Stanley Bogle, or the Fire Mr. Mustache amongst the more established. How the fuck is anyone supposed to get that much money together? Does Suze have any idea how out of touch she is? Someone should point her to this thread. I don't think she is wrong, but most will never see that number. She making polarizing statements to get views and funding her $5 million retirement. I'm still amazed anyone makes it past 45. Is this the lady that created a debit card that improves your FICO score with a shitload of fees? Then the card had to be shut down and a good portion of people lost their money that was preloaded on the card. This is the future for all of our parents. We will watch them die poor because they didn't become rich. Lots of middle-class money will be stolen by the privatization of our health care. Another stupid thing about her comment: anyone with $5.10 mil can buy citizenship in a country W. Nationalized healthcare. Well, the boomer generation ended hoarding a shit ton of money. The thinking was, well, they can't take it with them. It will eventually go to their children heirs. Well, with the cost of end-of-life care being just as astronomical as everything. What? They are taking it all with them. Hey Susie, how is it possible to save $5 million when 40 years at the median wage in America would have gross earnings of $2,165,280? And probably about 27 of that is taxed, so one's career net can be expected to be $1,580,654. Even if people could save 10 like you say they should, and they can't because you and other rich investors have bought up homes and turned them into Airbnbs, that'd just be $158,654 in savings. Please let us know the low-risk investment funds that are delivering the 78 annual return required to turn that $158,654 into $5 million. Joke's on them. I've within the last couple of years had a change of mind, if you will. This is why I won't have much of a nest egg and will hopefully estate plan way ahead of time to legally shelter any assets I may or may not have. Can't piss away what you don't have and or is sheltered away. These greasy grifting bastards do it. So I'm going to also. Yesterday is the time to estate plan. Not 3 months before you need any long-term care. So we're supposed to save all our lives in order to give huge sums at the end to big pharma and healthcare corporations? I checked a retirement calculator and you'd need to put over $15,000 a year into retirement from ages 22-67 to reach $5 million at 67. So out of touch they don't even know if the average person saved 100 of their income. No money on food, clothing, shelter, etc. They would never ever come close to earning $5 million. Americans should have access to decent healthcare insurance. Yes, Suze Orman is avoiding the elephant in the room. But your anger is misplaced. Other countries with nationalized healthcare do not have these problems you should be angry at. Healthcare lobbyists and the politicians and media outlets who carry water for them. I strongly believe Orman and Ramsey should have charges leveled against them for fraud. Most of what they say is a blatantly untruthful narrative of the banking or financial system. It's all designed to get people to invest in their products, which is how the fraud charges can be justified over First Amendment concerns. Said as a former Financial Peace University coordinator who had to learn the hard way. Fuck Dave Ramsey. Anytime a disconnected rich sugar bitch like this opens her mouth to give financial advice, she should be robbed of everything she owns and left with literally nothing. Then we send someone around to tell her about having money to retire and give her a lecture about not being a burden to society.